This podcast is about which is harder, football or ballet. Steve McLendon, a professional football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers who has been taking ballet classes since college, says it's the hardest thing he has ever done. Which do you think's harder, football or ballet?
I think ballet is harder.
I think football is harder.
I think ballet is harder because you do it year-round, you're constantly doing it, and you have to remember multiple dances and exactly what you have to do with your body, and not only does it hurt the entire time, you have to act like it's the most fun you've ever had in your whole life.
Well, I think football is harder because it works every muscle in your body. You have to practice a lot, like every day. It's about 2 hours of practice. You have to remember plays. You have to do all of these different positions. It's different for every person, but it's still the same work.
I mean, ballet just seems like I can't even conceive of doing ballet. You watch them walk around on their toes and stuff, and like you have to look nice while doing incredibly graceful things. Like, I mean, I've been hit on a football field. I've played football. You know, I mean, football's hard, but it's not like, I don't know. Football's never seemed complicated to me. I just cannot imagine. I think a ballerina could probably learn how to throw a football and catch a football. I don't think you could teach many football players to do ballet.
I think football's harder because you have to practice more. In ballet, you don't get hurt that bad, and in football, you get hurt more often.
In my opinion, both are pretty hard because ballet, you have to be able to stand on your tippy toes for a long time. But football, you have to be able to catch and run fast and memorize plays. So, yeah.
So, Ms. Bakke was just making such a wonderful point about how football could be conceivably more difficult than ballet because in ballet, at least each ballerina is in control of their body and their energy and their movements, whereas in football, even though it's a scripted sport and the offense starts off every play, you never know who. I mean, like I know in my personal experience, when I was in the 9th grade, I caught a slant and then I woke up on the field because someone else had hit me at full speed. And I didn't even realize I was unconscious. And so, no, nobody's going to tackle you in ballet. So, I mean, yes, there's that physical aspect of football that's incredibly difficult. Did I miss anything out in the summation of your point?
No, I mean, that's the good point, is that in one of the sports you don't have control over, like, where the source of energy is coming from, where from a dancer's perspective, that most of their energy source is coming from within. Usually in a dance situation, any mistake you make is going to be visual. People are going to notice, where, and like in a sport, there's so many things going on in the field, you can make a mistake or two and still not have every,
I never really thought about it.
that sort of thing. You can get hurt doing, I mean, a ballerina can pull a muscle as well, but because they're in control over their movements, it's choosing when and how to push themselves in a more controlled manner. It's like being in a controlled environment, like a science lab, and versus the forces of nature in the real world.
Do you think if you took experts on both, so if you took a coach who's coached football for a decade or two or more or what have you, someone like Nick Saban, who, if he's watching football, and then you take some prima ballerina who's now a ballet teacher, do you feel like one side of expertise is going to be more judgmental of the learners than the other? Like, is a football coach going to be harder on football players than a ballet coach on ballerinas?
No. I think each someone who coaches either one is going to expect the most perfect that you can be and push you to be even more so. I think if you were to take people that think, oh, well, it's just kicking a football in between the lines, how hard can that be? How can they mess that up? Well, maybe a ballerina who actually has pretty good coordination and control over her feet, have a ballerina kick a ball and see just what it takes to get some lift. And then, even in that situation, you think, oh, that might be easy. We'll put a bunch of people screaming and yelling and trying to knock you over while you're trying to kick a ball between the lines and see if that doesn't change it up for you.
Well, I think that's a great point that you bring up, because I kicked my freshman year of high school, and then recently in popular culture, in the NFL playoffs, the Chicago Bears kicker got in a bunch of hot water for missing a kick, and then there's the term Monday morning quarterback. People who watch TV say, oh, I could have blah 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 blah. But they had, I forget how many exactly, but it was something 100+ random citizens at one of the ESPN studios went to try and kick a 40-yard field goal, and none of them got even close. Not even like within a breath of making it.
Well, and it could go the other way too. Like with football players, they have plays that they memorize. Well, okay, try remembering a whole choreography that's only 3 minutes long. But it's a complex choreography as opposed to a play. How hard is that mentally? And how is that different than football? Or if you think you got good balance, how long can you, give them some exercises that ballerinas do for strength and exercises. And I think actually a little bit of cross training might make both better at the sports that they are involved in.
I just know ballet. Just thinking about ballet makes my Achilles tendons hurt. I played soccer and tennis most of my life, and you got to do a lot of stretching and preparedness for both of those, but I just can't imagine ballet. It just seems
I can't
treacherous.
imagine wanting to be feeling like I'm in a car accident every time I step out on the field because someone hits you that you're not expecting or that you don't see through your peripheral vision.
Well, in this
Thanks.
football comes with so much possible glory. It's such a big deal in this country. Mm-hmm. The American ethos of, if you're good at football, Tom Brady, arguably one of the most recognizable people in this entire. Where's Tom Brady going to go that someone doesn't know who Tom Brady is? Unfortunately, I have no idea what the world's most famous ballet troupe is.
I don't either, but it just popularity also comes with money. It's all in marketing. It's all in how much money does it pull in.